Do you question who had the most fitting draft setup?
All right, there was a lot of fun in the voyeurism of heading into these people's homes and getting looks at their lives that you may not have wanted. One of my favorites was the Bengals going to Kinko's and trying to throw all the money around on getting a backdrop for their sad coach, and then putting the camera in a place that allows us to see that they are not going to have the Kinko's Bengals signage behind him. Just an incredibly sad film on what looked like a Cincinnati basement. But let's check in with more glamorous circumstances. Like, for example, this from Cliff Kingsbury. Ladies, the fire pit is on, even though it's 95 degrees out there in Arizona at that time. And look at all that glass, and look at all that green, and look at all that no socks, baby. Come hither, ladies. Your coach is in Arizona. Your king is in Arizona.
Yeah, a lot of people compared this setup to the wealthy family in Parasite, which I think was spot on. But to me, he just looks like a supervillain on account of the fire. Although he's like the new supervillain. Like, he's trying to stop Daniel Craig, James Bond, whereas Jerry Jones is the old school supervillain who's trying to stop Roger Moore. Can we see him in the yacht there? Yeah, you got two different classes there. Aside from these two, I'm not really in a position to make fun of anyone else's home setups, given that I didn't have anywhere in my house to film this, so I just stacked a bunch of stuff on my dresser. Like, this is not a shelf. This drawer is full of leggings.
Not exactly a $250 million yacht, but let's go back to the original question. Back when I had control of the video instead of Mina, the Cliff Kingsbury house. How are you feeling about that, Pablo?
This is just the least candid that I've ever seen. It is the fire pit that you point out. It's the fact that that is the least ergonomic position to be using a computer in that I've ever seen. Look how deep that sofa is. For him to actually press a key on his keyboard, he needs to lean all the way forward. All of this feels like just flexing, which I obviously think is happening, but it also feels like a little American Psycho. Like, yes. I'm worried if I show up at a house and this is a guy normally using a computer.
A little too clean. It's a 20-year anniversary of American Psycho. Now, this is clearly, though, a single NFL head coach. Let's check in with Dad as the head coach, where you've got a couple of teenagers around the house. Mike Vrabel's got a couple of teenagers. They just want their camera time. I'm thankful that in this photo, you don't see what was an optical illusion. There was a pooper back there over the left corner in one of the other videos. It looked like someone was pooping, but additional reporting has proven that it was not actually a pooper. There it is. Thank you very much for the pooper. It was not a pooper. It's an optical illusion. This was not pooping that was going on in the background.
I like that we only had time to discuss one of the draft picks, the 26th pick, but we will zoom in on the phantom pooper in Mike Vrabel's house.
And zoom in on the sun to Mike Vrabel's left, please, because the way that he is positioned is exactly how I would stand with my arms like that if my dad was a guy who said he'd cut his own penis off in order to win a Super Bowl.
We've got Mina's beloved Andy Reid at home, looking a lot like you would imagine Andy Reid to look. I'm pretty sure Andy Reid has not worn a pair of pants throughout this entire quarantined ordeal. Here he is, Andy Reid, at the glorious height of being Andy Reid. There he is. There he is, Hawaiian shirt, the only kind of shirt he owns. There he is, champion, Mina, Andy Reid. That looks about like you'd expect it to.
Is he chewing?
Constantly.
And how about, let's check in with Roger Goodell. That's all we have for Andy Reid. One fat joke.
But hold on. I think to add another fat joke, I think there was like barbecue sauce in that cup. Like, zoom in on that. The viscosity of whatever's in that cup seems thicker than a normal soft drink, but
okay, he just drinks
theory.
That's Andy Reid's party, drinking straight shots of barbecue sauce. Let's check in with Roger Goodell, who found it kind of strange. Now, we should be saying, by the way, that it was an amazing production under the circumstances.
Yes.
Goodell was the only drawback because he's not a professional comedian or host of an award show, but here he is with a wardrobe change for some reason in the middle of, he went from his basement to another part of his house. He's like, let me change clothes like Janet Jackson during a performance. I've got the second half of the draft to get to.
I mean, I just want to know what the impetus behind this was. Like, did somebody get in his ear and say, Roger, we're hearing you are too formal. Go 15% more casual. Okay, less businessman, more dad at his son's graduation.
He absolutely looks like someone who is hosting one of those webinars on information security on the company intranet that I have not filled out. But the reason why he changed clothes seems pretty obvious once you realize he took the jacket off, undoubtedly looked at his pits and was like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
I need another solution. Give me the dark sweater.
Wow.
That's how you do it.
That expertise as a sweater. Mina, you're a sweater. You're a secret prodigious sweater.
Both of you.
He was just giving us that armpit there. You're a secret sweater too.
I can't relate at all.
Mina, show us a pit. Just one.
No.
Just one.
No. Look at the horror on her face. No. Go to commercial. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Yeah. When you started today and you looked at your mustache and thought, this is fine, I'm not gonna do anything about it, put on a sweater that I've seen you wearing 10 times before now through the quarantine.
It's the most comfortable sweater that I own.
Did you think these words would come out of your mouth?
My biggest regret was going singular. Singular pit is just creepier. Show us your pits. It's like, yeah, show us a pit. A pit.
He
Just
really
one.
Stepped on your joke there, Mina. He stepped on your joke. Show us a pit was the punchline. He wouldn't even let you get it out.
Lord.
This is the amount of my face I'm comfortable showing today, by the way.